Okay, hello my loves, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It is Coutura and I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. It's been a little while since I sat here and had a conversation with you guys. I kind of feel called to talk to you guys more about just the things that go on in my life and the things that I'm learning and how I'm growing spiritually and just all of the wisdom that I am granted on a day-to-day basis, because I'm really trying my hardest to evolve into my highest, most loving, most understanding, most compassionate self in a way that is consistent and doesn't regress or slow down, because I feel like I've been on this journey for so long and I give myself grace because I know that this journey is one with no destination and I'm gonna be healing and growing every day. But I do feel like if I did in the past spend more time just reflecting and not really getting so distracted by worldly things and the things that have been going on in my life, I would have been a lot further. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm where I'm supposed to be and I'm grateful to be here. But I'm just really trying my best to show up in new ways that I know that my highest self would be very proud of. So take what resonates, leave the rest, and enjoy. Yeah. I hope you guys are vibing high. I hope y'all are feeling good. It's a full moon in Sag. I couldn't sleep last night at all. I stayed up till like 6 a.m. just looking at the moon, literally staring at me through this window that's right in front of me. I got my Malta with me. Y'all know I keep that thing on me. This shit about to be finished though. This is my second one. I was about to start talking about like what I've been going through this past year when it comes to like just my relationships and the things that I'm learning when it comes to what I need from people and what I need to give myself. In reality, I've been going through shit with my relationships my entire life. When it comes to my family, when it comes to my parents, when it comes to my loved ones in general, my friends. And I'm really learning how to transform my pain into love and how to accept what has been granted to me and the lessons that I've been taught through my experiences. And I think that the first thing that has helped me do that was learning what it really means to just surrender. And this started, I really feel like when I locked my hair. And if you watch like probably my very first video on here, I was talking a little bit about that. When I really started like learning how to surrender to my life and the things that are thrown into my path and just really learned what surrender means to me, it shifted my entire perspective on my life in general. And I kind of was able to see my life as something that is happening for me and not to me. That was the beginning of it. Surrendering is not something that you can just do in an instant, but learning and introducing myself to that and planting that seed in my head that says like, this is what's meant for you. These are things that you need to experience in order to grow and in order to learn and in order to put you on the right path to get you to where you're going. I think it was just like God talking to me, because that word was just something that kept coming up in my head throughout that entire summer. And I locked my hair and it was a symbol for me to actually surrender to not only the things that I was experiencing, but my entire life in general, and to allow myself to not attach myself to the things that was happening, to witness them and to understand them and to learn from them in the ways that I was capable of learning from them. I honestly am so grateful for that time in my life, because I don't think that I would have been able to get here without acknowledging that this life is so temporary, and so are the things that happen in your life, so are the people that exist in your life. And it helps you kind of be more present in a way that allows you to be grateful for those moments and see those moments for what they really are. Honestly, as much as I wanted locks, I was nervous about locking my hair because I had been so attached to my loose hair that I didn't really know what to expect when it came to my locks and how my hair would look. Your hair really, if you allow yourself to have a spiritual connection with your hair, like, it can really shift your whole mindset and your whole life. Like, I don't think my life would be the same right now if I hadn't locked my hair, to be honest, because surrendering to that journey and surrendering to just the path that I was on and using my hair as a symbol for that really was like the staple to me, kind of shifting that perspective of victimhood into me knowing that everything that's happening for me is something to be grateful for. I'm like purging, and I read this post the other day that was like how this full moon is like a purging moon. I see full moons as a time to release, but I feel like this full moon is really like pushing me to just release everything that no longer serves me, like every little thing. And I'm really grateful for that because it's making room for growth. It's making more room for the things that actually do serve me and actually are for my greater good. And full moons are so intense, but honestly, I love it. Like, yeah, I'm definitely purging. And it's not even, honestly, it's not even just a full moon. It's just the period of my life that I'm in right now. I have a little bit of pink lotus in my spliff right now, and I actually just got these herbs from Etsy a few days ago because I wanted to try them. And I tried it like a few nights ago, and y'all, like, I instantly had like the most energy ever. That shit had me up. And there's a little bit in this split because it was on the rolling tray from when I last rolled. And let me light this incense real quick. I have been through so much as a 22-year-old, and obviously we all have been through a lot. Like, we've all had our trials and tribulations, but I honestly cannot believe that I've made it this far to who I am today, because the shit that I've been through and just the mental space that I used to be in when I was real young, I just really had no hope. Like, I really did not see myself becoming a person who can actually genuinely be happy and actually be grounded in who I am and content with just my presence and my being. I was once the person that was always in a space where I felt like life was just beating my ass. And detachment, oh my gosh, detachment is so key, y'all. And it took me, I think, let me count how many years that it took me, I think, to really detach. It has to be, I want to say like 4 or 5 years. Like, that's how long it took me, I feel like, to get to where I am today and to completely be okay with every single thing that I'm experiencing, because I know that I'm so aligned with who I want to become and the life that I'm cultivating for myself. I can be sure that the things that are taking place, even though they might not seem like they're beneficial for me at the moment and like they're for my greater good in the present moment, I can be sure that in the future I will understand that I really just had to choose peace. Like, I really just had to choose peace. Is this making me happy, or is this making me stressed? Is this making me anxious? Is this making me feel bad about myself? Is this serving me in this present moment? And if it isn't, then I've learned to really just let it go. And I think that what helps is just that inner knowing that what's meant for me is always going to be mine. What's meant for me to have will always find me. And if that doesn't mean that I can have it in this present moment, that doesn't mean that I won't ever have it. It just means that now is just not the right time. Trusting in yourself, trusting in the universe, trusting in God, trusting in Source, that should be enough, because that belief is what's going to help you get to where you need to be without having to repeat cycles and having to learn the same lessons over and over again. Because one thing about the universe, one thing about God, if you don't learn the lesson the first time, you're gonna keep repeating the same lessons until you get it right. And I learned that the hard way. And I really hope that if this is resonating with you guys, that you guys really hear me when I say this, because I would really love to know that I helped people not repeat the same cycles that I did in the past, where I just couldn't let go of the things that I knew wasn't serving me anymore, and I couldn't surrender to the things that were taking place in my life because I held on to this idea of what I wanted my life to look like, what I wanted my relationships to look like. I used to be really keen on just controlling my path and controlling my future, because I was so dissatisfied and so disappointed in the things that took place in my life in that present moment and in my past, that I only wanted things that I believed were good for me and things that I believed were what would make me happy to be the only things that take place in my life from that point on, and that just wasn't realistic. This one's really important, and I tell this to my friends all the times because I really believe that it's true. At the end of the day, we're human and we expect things from each other. We yearn for things from each other. We yearn for connection with each other. I believe that if you're giving that to yourself, and if you're pouring into yourself in a way that you wish others would do for you, that has to be enough. Like, it has to be. It really does. You cannot control people. You cannot control what people do for you. People will only do for you what they want to do for you. When you're in your solitude, even if when you're in a relationship and you're just alone in that very moment, you have to learn how to not place your happiness onto other people, not give other people control over how you feel about yourself, about how you feel about your life, about how you feel about anything. If you're connecting with your higher self, if you're connecting with whatever higher being or power that you believe to be the one that serves you, that has to be enough. What helped me do that was spending that time with myself and understanding myself more, learning more about myself. Like, of course you're human and you need support outside of your own, but being your own main support system, your own rock, your own person that you can truly be comfortably dependent on is so important. Not everybody experiences their growth in solitude, but I believe that everyone can benefit from spending time alone, because you have no choice but to face those subconscious beliefs that you have to dismantle and do that shadow work that you need to do in order to accept and love yourself utterly and completely. Spending time with yourself in your solitude will really bring up so much knowledge and so much wisdom that already exists within you that you would not have been able to tap into without spending that time with yourself. Sit with yourself and hold space for yourself. Because I was so used to having that victim mindset and not really seeing life for what it is and just viewing it as something that was just not treating me well, I lacked accountability in the things that were taking place in my life, because I was so used to not really seeing myself and not really seeing things for what they actually are. I had very pessimistic tendencies, and when you're already fixed on things in that way, like when you already have it set in your mind that things are bad and everything sucks and life sucks and why is this happening to me, it's hard for you to see your role in it. Boy, like, this really came up for me like in my late teenage years, because the relationships that were placed in my life were really in order to help me grow, and they were a huge shift in how I operated as a conscious human being. So my last relationship it's just funny talking about this right now because I just have a feeling that he's gonna watch this. So my last relationship, it was really just, I think, one of the biggest things that helped me transform my life, honestly, and I feel like he can probably say the same. We got together when I was 18 or 19, and like it started off like so intense, and we just felt really deeply for each other really quickly, and I became became so attached to him that I just couldn't, after a while, see myself happy without him. And that was probably like, it was the most beautiful relationship I've ever experienced, but it was definitely the most transformational and the most purging and heaviest relationship I've experienced in this life, because through that relationship I was taught how to really see myself and see what actions that I could have been taking better in order to evolve my life and to dismantle the things that I attached to myself as a human being. I used to call myself so depressed and so sad. I used to just claim that all the time and claim that I was anxious and claim that I couldn't do certain things and this is just how I am. And that relationship really taught me and forced me to look at myself and see myself in all my darkness and all my light and accept that I don't have to be certain ways and I don't have to stay complacent in the ways that I've been. I don't have to let my pain shape me into a person that I'm not. I went from lacking that love for myself to being the person I feel like today loves me the most, and I really feel like I could have said that a few years ago. And I really became a person that allowed myself to feel and allowed myself to let my emotions pass instead of holding on to them when they came up, because I wasn't used to doing anything else. And I thank him for, being that person in my life, because like I really don't feel like I would have gotten here so quickly without that relationship teaching me those things. We're not in each other's lives anymore at this moment, but the love is always going to be there because he just taught me so much and he revealed so much about me to myself, and I really couldn't ask for anything greater from someone else. Like, I love to learn about myself through others, and I love to teach others about themselves through me, and I feel like that's one of my main purposes being here. I'm also learning to not just process things in hindsight and see how I should have reacted and how I should have processed things after the fact, and to separate myself in that very moment and literally take a step back and ask myself, what is actually going on? How am I really supposed to respond to this? And how should I receive this? The world is not against you. You are so much more powerful than you think. Gaining that control over my thoughts and gaining that control over my perspective has shifted my life deeply, and I'm eternally grateful. I downloaded this ebook a few days ago. It's called All These Rivers and You Chose Love by Jaya John. He's a writer that I followed on Instagram, and I saw him post an excerpt from it, and I was like, I have to read this book. And he wrote this creative piece about pain that really resonated with me. It's literally like the 10th page in the book. Like, as soon as I started reading it, I saw so many gems. And I was just like, I have to share this book with my people. So here goes. Here's the thing about you, your pain. No one has ever felt your exact pain before. No one ever will. And yet the mystic nature of this life is that every soul has felt your pain. Every soul will. You're both painfully alone in your pain and preciously held in the heart embrace of every soul relating to your pain, for it is theirs. You see, pain is not a piece of a thing, it is the whole thing. Pain is life, sky, land, water, fire, all of it. Pain is birthing and dying, coming and going, beginning and ending, rising and setting. Try this. The old ones, the indigenous ones, they say to us that pain is a flower, a way for life to get our attention to life. Your pain makes nothing else matter in the moment, which brings you into the private room of soul reckoning where everything matters. Pain introduces you to truth, retrieves you from your wandering. Pain is both mercy and mercenary. Its methods can be gentle or horrific. Ultimately, though, pain is a flower. You can remain faithful to your conditioned busyness and pass right on by the flower, or you can pause, take a breath, kneel down, inhale the flower's scent, consider its form and nature, and be taught by the flower. So yes, dear one, you are alone in your pain, and you are in the company of every soul in your pain. Your solitude and your belonging are threads for the sacred weaving of your life. May you make something beautiful. I remember reading this page and having it resonate so deeply, but I don't remember exactly everything that he said, so it must have really resonated because I literally just said the same things but differently. But this is a really good book so far. I haven't finished it yet. Final thoughts, it's really just about your perspective and how you're choosing to view your life. You have to choose to not be a victim to life anymore and to view life as something that's serving you and not hurting you. It's something to consider when it comes to your pain and heavy emotions. And I'm just grateful to have been able to enter this space, and I can't wait to just see how much more I can grow from here. I truly wish the same for anyone that's viewing this and anyone who might feel or might have felt the ways that I have expressed in this video. And I love you. Thank you for holding space for me and being here and supporting me always. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video.